of all the holes on Pebble that give me the biggest headache, it would probably have to be number 7, and it's the shortest hole that we ever play. Only 100 yards straight downhill. It's a sand wedge, and it's one of those holes that small green and awkward view of it, so it gives you kind of a little bit of a challenge.
The strategy on the 18th at Pebble Beach is basically to hug the left side as much as you dare. The more you hug the left side, the shorter your second shot in. So that's really, I guess for me, it's a pretty long par 5. So for me to reach it in 2, I need to make sure I hit a really committed, brave tee shot down the left half, which obviously brings the ocean into play. And from there, I've probably got a, given still conditions, I've probably got a 3-wood into the green. Once again, I'm having to hit a very committed, trusting shot to the middle of the green. But it also offers you the opportunity, if you need 5 to win the tournament, where you can play a 3-wood out to the right, hit a nice layup into a wide area and wedge it on. So it's a hole for the brave if you want to make 3 or 4.
It's a fun hole, number 7. I mean, I've hit, actually at Pebble Beach in the tournament, I've actually hit as much as a 5-iron on that hole. It's hard to believe when you tell people that it's 110 yards downhill, but that wind can howl so hard off the ocean, you're just basically chipping something off to keep it down, because it's downhill so much you don't want to get anything in the air when the wind's really blowing. So it's a very intimidating hole, even though it's a short hole, for when the wind gets blowing. If the wind's not blowing, it's a pretty standard shot, and you're looking at making a birdie. But if it's not, and if it is blowing, it becomes a very difficult hole. And again, that green is small and has a lot of firmness to it. So when the wind blows, it can be as tough as any hole out there.
I think the par 3s at Pebble are very tough. Even the short 100-yard par 3 at 7. And then I think they lengthen 9 and 10 for the Open, so that's going to be interesting. Because from the last time we were there, we saw the tee boxes, and I think it was about 50 more yards they added on both those holes, and they were already pretty difficult.
But then you have 8, 9, and 10 are just brutal holes. You hit 3-wood off 8, and then you've got 200 plus over the ocean, over a bluff, all the way to a very narrow green. You have to be very accurate, very precise there. And then the 9th hole with the ocean all to your right, it's probably a 480-yard par 4. You're hitting off a downhill lie for your second shot into a green well protected by the ocean and bunkering. And then the 10th hole is very similar. It's a very long hole with the ocean off to your right, and you've got wind coming in, you got the waves breaking in on you. A lot of noise, seagulls. It's beautiful out there. It's one of the prettiest courses you'll ever play. But those holes right there are going to make and break your round right there.